studio 2 members of the group, Neil Finn, who with his brother Tim does most of the singing, and drummer Paul Hester, who joined the group only a couple of weeks ago. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well.
Good.
Now, according to the publicity handouts, you all came from really good, solid, middle-class backgrounds. I mean, what a good, solid, middle-class background
Did
boys
they say that in the publicity?
Yeah, that's what they say.
At least they could have said we came from the docks or something.
I know, well, it would be more respectable, don't you reckon?
No, well, Tim, our father, Tim and my father, was an accountant in a small town called Te Awamutu in New Zealand, so I guess that's reasonably middle class. But there's nothing, you know, middle-class boys can have passions too, you know, you don't have to be from
Is
the
it
slums.
passion to become a...
Well, it has to be when you come from New Zealand, really. You have to have a burning ambition, to say the least. Just because the odds are so tough over there, it's so easy to get discouraged. There's not much of a scene because there's not enough people. So, yeah, I think we were fired with some huge ambition. Where we got it from, I don't know. I think it just descended from the sky somewhere.
Was it music in your family? I mean, either of your parents played instruments?
My mother plays the piano sort of in a strange sort of way, but she plays the piano quite well. And she sings a bit and that. She's Irish, so there's an Irish background. My father's tone deaf, but he loves music. He loves jazz records. Paul's mother plays the drums.
Is that where you got it from?
Yeah. Yes.
Isn't that wonderful? That's the most perfect thing I ever heard.
Well, it's like I had to sort of put down my homework and play the drums when I was at home. So, yeah, there's always been a drum kit there.
Well, she could always fill in if you got sick, couldn't she?
Well, that's why we hired him, really. We thought there's always a backup.
An understudy, I think it's a good idea. Do you think it's a good life? Do you enjoy it?
It is, yeah. It's a very varied, quite a varied life, which is great. And you don't get a chance to settle into too many routines. I like that about it. It's very day to day. You don't know what you're going to be doing in 3 months' time. Being on the road can become very tiring and grueling after a long period, but for at least a good few months when you haven't been doing it for a while, which we haven't done it for a year and a half, it's really exciting to get on stage.
So it's only the kind of travelling that you don't like?
Oh, it's just getting up early in the morning.
Oh, I see.
No, it's fine this morning. We're feeling really fit, aren't we, Paul?
Been up for ages. I always get up this time.
I had a good run this morning as well.
Yeah,
Oh, did you? Exercises, yeah?
Yeah, around the hotel room.
Had some muesli. Oh, that's good. Now, has Tim's separate career affected the band? I mean, he's been a success. He's had a whole lot of hits, but what if they'd been failures? Would that have hurt you?
If they'd been failures, I don't know whether it's a bit early to say really what effect it's had in a way, because it's still quite close. His singles are still out. So I think it was very important for Tim that he did it after having been in Split Enz for 10 years. It's a long time to put into one project, and he needed a bit of fresh perspective, I think, a bit of outside sort of influence.
Would you ever perform those singles? I mean, the band ever perform your singles? No.
Not unless we had a few too many one night. Well, we don't know the songs for start off. We haven't learned them, but it is a separate thing, you know. I mean, Tim's writes different songs for Split Enz anyway.
And tell me, you were in a band called Deck Chairs Overboard, which I think has always been one of my favourite titles for a band. Don't you think it's funny? I mean, I think it is. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But did you find it difficult coming into a group that are already very established and well-known? Is that a hard thing to do?
No, it was easy.
Was it?
So easy.
What, because they're such lovely people?
Yep.
Do you let him into that one well?
No, it was. They made it very easy for me, everybody. You know, it's just like a big family being in Split Enz. It's like that. It's not like that in other bands. It's a lot harder, actually, in other bands. But
well,
it's very easy.
I really like your music anyway, so thanks for coming.
Thanks a lot, Kate. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks.